Zell here. Welcome to the Mama Shoshana channel. So happy that you're here. So happy that you're back. Been a while, been so busy, but I have been coming up with some great stuff. I have a 5-week series here, and the topic is how to know, or how you can see the signs of when you are in an abusive relationship. I am not a therapist, but I've been around for 63 years and I have experienced this, and I feel that I would have some very viable advice and solutions for you. So our 5-week series is going to be number one, believe it or not, this all has to do with what type of relationship you seek. Feminism, the first step to feminism, in my experience as a little girl, how to see the signs of abuse. After you find out that you're in an abusive relationship, how do you take yourself out of that? How do you leave? And after you've left, what is your journey to healing? And after you've left, 5 is, how do you know when you're ready to go back out there again? Seems like the dating app site or meetups and so forth is the way things are going now. How do you navigate that? So today we're just going to work on the first one, feminism. So I will be right back, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Ready for this journey with me? So I took a bunch of notes. I was thinking about different things, thinking about, and again, I'm only talking about my experience. So I was born female. I identify as a woman, and I'm talking about myself and my experiences. The language I'm using should not stop you from being able to identify with me. However you identify, we can both identify to the emotions, the feelings, and so forth. So, where did it start for me? When I was a little girl, the idea of feminism, it's very important in the family unit. So basically, when I was researching feminism, it was not just about empowering female, but it's an idea. It's idealistic, that all people should be treated with kindness, should be treated equally, should be treated and encouraged to empower themselves. So the one thing about my beginning in my childhood, which I wish I would have been able to experience, is, if the child is taught autonomy of their own body at an appropriate age, that's one part that is extremely important in finding a partner in life. Whenever that comes up, it could be a partner, it could be your first love, it could be, a very short-term boyfriend when you get into high school. But in the family unit, think about it. Think about what your childhood was like. Think about what you saw, if you had other siblings, how they were treated. Having autonomy means control over your own body, and as far as what you choose to want to do. Let's say if a girl, for example me, there were lots of sports in my school. There was baseball, there was kickball. I just wasn't good at any of that, but I loved to dance. Now, seems like dance is a stereotypical thing for a little girl to do, but not always. In my case, sports was a big thing in my school, and I was actually, encouraged to pursue dance. Actually, my father signed me up for ballet school. I was able to take tap dancing and jazz and ballet. That way I felt I had a decision about how my body would move through life, at least to some extent. And that gave me a sense of autonomy over my own body. Now, on the flip side of that coin, I was also sexually abused by my father. So I had no autonomy and no say over the things that he did. How do I match those two actions from this one person? Only thing I can say is that people are very complicated, and sick people make sick decisions. Another thing is, if a girl feels her feelings and her strengths are valued. So in a family unit, if you have opinions on what everyone in the family is discussing, or if people are watching TV or watching something political, whatever it may be, and they're discussing things, and you put your 2 cents in, whether you're mature or sophisticated enough as a thinker or not, how a parent or how a caregiver responds to your desire to be involved, even if you don't really know what you're talking about, but the fact is that you're showing effort, that you want to be a part of, is that valued? You know, and it's the fact that your little mind is thinking as best as it can, listening to all these things, maybe hooking onto something, a couple of words that really have nothing to do with the meat of what the conversation is, but you're trying. This is the way you're kind of moving into socializing with older people, trying to get a little bit more sophisticated, trying to start on the path of understanding deeper thought processes. Is that something that is valued by your family? Or are you told, you know, come on, you don't know what you're talking about. This is a grown, just, you know, be seen and not heard. This is grown-up discussion. You know, go play with your dolls or whatever. That can be, you know, whether your strengths and feelings are valued or not, that can have a huge impact on how you feel about yourself and what type of partner you choose. What are, in the family unit, what does the breadwinner expect for their support? So a kind of delicate situation, because when somebody is a breadwinner, maybe it doesn't matter if you have a mother, father in the family unit that are the breadwinners, or just a father or just a mother, or you're raised by an uncle or an aunt or grandmother or whatever it may be. What is it that they expect? So the one thing that I've always found is a huge mistake is to use the fact that you support your children or whoever you're the caretaker of, is to use that fact to make them feel guilty, to make them feel obliged to you, to make them fear that if they don't do what you say, you will no longer care for them, that they won't have food, they won't have shelter, they'll get kicked out. What is it that they ask from you? And there's a lot of different ways to have a child be and feel a part of a family, feel valued, but also carry their own weight. And how the caretaker in the family proposes that, proposing it without fear, without fear of loss of love, without fear of not being taken care of, but actually being presented to the child as, hey, you are really important in this family, and we are a team, and we're going to do this together, and you are so good at, you know, drying dishes, or I've seen you sweep before, and you're getting so good at that, and that would really be such a great thing for you to do as one of your chores in the family. The fine line between making a child guilty and having them perform well because of fear, or having them perform well because of a sense of community, a sense of belonging, and that can have a great impact on the future partner that you choose. And the fourth thing I wrote down here is a girl, this is kind of a statement, is a girl exposed to all the strong, progressive women in history? And I think that's a really, really important thing. So I think as parents or caregivers, it is up to us to expose our daughters or sons, or however your child identifies, to people in history that they can relate to, whether it be them relating to them as their orientation, their sexual orientation, their gender, their background. Women from different, biblical writings and all kinds of incredible, even characters of fantasy in different ideologies, and it's a really wonderful thing to introduce that. For me, I was introduced to all the great ballet dancers, female ballet dancers, tap dancers, a lot in the 1940s and 50s and 60s, when they made those big Hollywood movies, and they were musicals, and I got to see all these incredible female dancers, and it was just such a inspiring thing for me. And last but not least, is a girl allowed to express anger without punishment, and is she offered solutions. So that's another thing, is if a child is not allowed to be angry in an appropriate manner, that's one thing right there. That is such a dangerous thing, especially for a little girl, because in my day, and I'm 63 years old, boys were expected to be more aggressive. They were the ones that were playing with the guns, and they were the ones that were playing with the soldiers, and they were the ones that were playing football and all these more testosterone inspired toys or games to play. And I actually was not allowed to get angry. My father would be very angry with me, very angry with me if I got angry, especially because of what I was being angry about. So that's a whole other story. But it's so important for a child to be able to express, when they are displeased with something, when they're angry with something. It's okay to be angry. And then the important thing is not to try to make them feel better by giving them candy or sweets or a gift or a toy or money, but actually to come up with real solutions. If they are displeased with something, if they're angry about something, just listen to them. Just listen to them. And sometimes with my children, I'd ask them, well, I hear that you're really upset. I hear that when so-and-so took your toy, it made you feel really upset, and you felt so angry, and you felt that it wasn't fair. And then I ask, what do you think we could do about that? And a lot of times when my older sons would actually squabble together, and they'd both come to me really upset with each other, and I would tell them, I'm sorry you guys are upset. How are we going to fix this? What do you think you guys can do? What can you compromise with? What kind of solution can you both come up with to make this work out? And I said, and if you need my help, or you need me to just listen and guide you guys a little bit, I will. So that I think are 5 of important subjects to think about. Sometimes we can't do anything about it now, especially if you're an adult, but it's important to look back and see, wow, yeah, that did happen, or that didn't happen, or I was given solutions for certain things, but not other things. And it's a really good preparation for the rest of this series. So hopefully it was great for you, because it certainly was great for me. It was wonderful talking about this. And so if you could be so kind as to subscribe and like if you enjoyed this, and of course comment if you feel inspired to. I will see you next time with our next installment of how to know, or how to be aware of the fact that you might be in an abusive relationship. Love to you all. Mwah! And I'll see you next time. Bye.